Hello and welcome to official Xbox 360 Magazine's OXM report, and this week we had a chance to take a look at Crysis 2, which is the sequel to what is still the most graphically impressive PC game of all time.
So I'm here with Nathan Camarillo, who's the executive producer on Crysis 2. So obviously this is the first time the Crysis series has made it to the consoles. Yeah. You guys have shoehorned in a pretty amazing looking game. For guys who aren't familiar with Crysis, could you give us a bit of the background?
Yeah, so with the original Crysis, we took the freedom of choice that we offered in players, going back to the original Far Cry, and expanded on the visuals of the jungle concept and made a stellar-looking game on PC, but it was a PC-only title. So we had a great-looking jungle, it looked awesome, and we introduced here the nanosuit in the original Crysis. What the nanosuit did was it provided gamers another style of choice, which was it gave them this temporary godlike powers that they could turn on and off at will based on the power of the suit. So they had things like speed or stealth or armor or strength that they could turn on when they wanted to. So we've refined the nanosuit style of gameplay in Crysis 2 to really take advantage of that. We're really excited to get gamers using the new suit and seeing how it plays, and having their own gamer style that they develop themselves.
Is it possible to upgrade the suit to kind of further emphasize those qualities that you use in your particular playstyle?
Yeah, definitely. One of the new things that we're doing in Crysis 2 is that just like you could customize the weapons in Crysis 1 with different attachments and scopes, and like maybe you want to take your silencer off and put a grenade launcher on a red dot sight because that's what this combat space called for. We want you to also be able to customize the nanosuit, and it's not like a paint scheme thing. It's you get modules that you can activate, and you can only have a certain limited number available, but you can push those gamer styles even further so that you get better information when you're cloaked in stealth, or better information when you're surveying the environment, or different kinds of information or abilities when you're in armor or fighting. And they're not all just limited information, but I can't tell you what the specific ones are yet. We'll get into that over time.
So the location for the game is New York, which is a place I think a lot of gamers have spent a lot of time in, particularly with GTA. But what is it that makes your version of New York different?
Yeah, so one thing that we're doing with New York that's very different for us is that we're very accurate in size and scale for every location that we go to. So, if someone could walk out their front door if they live in New York and go, hey, this was right near my house, and haha, it doesn't match one-to-one. But you'd be very hard to say that it doesn't match the same style and the same feel and the same, structure as that location. It's very iconographic and very one-to-one of what you would see being in that real location in New York. And other games have done New York before, but they tend to be very stylized or very cartoony or very generic in some regards and very repetitive, and we're not doing that. It's a very unique flavor and very specific that you will feel like you're in this location. And thankfully we've already gotten feedback from people that say, wow, this is the most realistic depiction of New York that I've ever seen, so that's a good place to start.
So you guys released a trailer recently, and I was quite surprised at how downbeat it was as opposed to big explosions and things. Is this a sign that the story's matured somewhat, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we're telling a richer, deeper story this time around with Crysis 2, and we hope that not only is it emotionally provocative, but it's also very engaging, just from a fictional point of view. There's plenty of time to wow people with spectacle, and we will do this also and just blow people away with, like, oh man, this looks so awesome, this is so great, this action is so cool. But we want to kind of set everyone up like, hey, no, we're really taking this game seriously and the story of the game seriously, and there is a story there for people who want it, and there's going to be great action, and everyone's going to be wowed by that later as well.
So obviously this game is one of the best looking games on the Xbox. How much of a technical challenge is it to make the Xbox do this stuff?
Yeah, well, at Crytek we have miracle workers who amaze us every day. I mean, one of our mantras is, if you do one miracle a year, then that's enough. So we have a lot of heroes at the company that just do amazing things all the time. And for us, we started at a much higher place. Like Crysis 1, we said there's no way this will ever run on console. There's no way this technology will ever run on console. And when CryEngine 3 got re-engineered, that was the goal, is to make this kind of game run on console. And so we came from a high place going, how do we make that run, rather than coming from the bottom like some developers do, like, well, what can we do, we're approaching the limit, let's stop. Instead, we got onto the consoles, and then we said, well, if we can do that, we could probably make that more efficient, and then let's add some more stuff that we haven't even announced yet. So it's, we're squeezing stuff back in on top of the awesome visuals that you've already got to see. So it'll be really, really cool.
Excellent. Nathan, thank you for talking to us.
No problem.